Vic Tafur covers the Raiders for The Athletic. He has a great pod about the Raiders as well every week on The Athletic's platform, and he joins us now live from Vegas. Am I reading that wrong, Vic? They were that happy he was gone, they smoked cigars.
That's pretty much it, man. I've never walked into a locker room and smelled just a thick cigar smoke after a game. It was odd. They were dancing there. Max Crosby's doing videos, and the owners hugging him, and it was it's been a big time party all week since the day after they put in a mini hoop in the locker room, and you got guys wrestling the day after and having fun. So it's been very clear what they felt about the last regime.
Vic, how bad was it?
You know what? I think it just kind of it got slowly worse and worse. There was some problems last year, and they got rid of a lot of guys from last year's roster. Kind of wanted a reboot this year, but they brought in a lot of former Patriots as well. One of them, Chandler Jones, obviously did not go very well. But so it just kind of got worse and worse. And the key thing for me was it's all about the offense. I mean, Josh is an offensive guy. That's his resume. He has the rings with the Patriots, but they couldn't score 20 points. They couldn't score 20 points in 8 games when you got Devontae Adams and Josh Jacobs. So it's very frustrating for fans, even more frustrating for players in the locker room. Like, what's going on?
Vic, there's a story that Jay Glazer had on the Fox pregame show yesterday, something along the lines of Antonio Pierce trying to motivate this team last week, but before McDaniels was fired, by comparing it to his '07 Giants with this attitude that, hey, every time we took the field, we believed we could win. Obviously, that team eventually beat the Patriots, and then McDaniels had pulled him aside and basically gave him grief for talking about the Patriots and maybe read that as personal. Had you heard something similar? I mean, was there tension between Pierce and McDaniels that you were aware of?
I think tension may be a strong word. I just think that as the players kind of became more disillusioned with the coaching staff, mostly Josh and his guys, I think they turned to Antonio Pierce as kind of a sounding board. I think he definitely is a former player. They mentioned that several times and that bond they have. And he kind of, I guess, talks their language, I guess is a way to say it. So I think he was kind of like a guy they went to in the last few weeks, a guy they turned to, and then this big meeting they had, I'm sure he spoke up. So I just think that maybe it'd been like kind of different sides now all of a sudden of the coaching staff, like, the players guy versus the old fuddy-duddy.
Vic, how long you've covered the Raiders? It's a while. How long has it been?
This is 14 years.
Okay. Compare last week. Where would you rank, let's put it that way, everything that's happened last week, culminating those cigars last night, on your list of crazy bleep you've seen with the Raiders?
That's a good question, but I've seen so much crazy bleep within the Raiders, I can't even rank them. But definitely the joy. I haven't seen that kind of joy in the locker room. I think we're trying to think back. There was a game in London where John Gruden was dancing because they beat Khalil Mack. That was a pretty happy locker room. This is kind of close to that one, I just think. But I think, you look at Mark Davis, and he's had this, I think this is his 8th coach since he took over for his dad. And it's just been a rocky road. It's kind of a roller coaster of ups and downs. And they were definitely on the way down. I think they definitely, I think he saw it as he said it was regressing. So it's been crazy. It's been a crazy week. It's been a crazy 14 years.
Vic, true or false? Mark Davis needs Antonio Pierce to go on a run, prove that he should be the full-time coach. Because of all that turnover you just mentioned, if it isn't Antonio Pierce, nobody else would want this job.
Yeah, I don't buy that. I think there are only 32 of these jobs. And if you come here, the stadium is incredible. I mean, the facility is incredible. So if you're a coach of any kind, all these coaches have egos, all these guys. So you think you can do a good job here, I'm sure. And it's a Robertson. There's talent in the roster. We've mentioned Crosby and Adams and Jacobs, and there's some young guys. So there's the cupboard's not totally bare. So I don't really buy that. People can look at the history and say, oh, why would I want that job? I mean, he gave Josh McDaniels a $50 million buyout check. That's not a bad going away gift. So I think guys can live with that if that's the worst case scenario.
I'm totally with you. There's that narrative that it has been such a mess for so long, and he's blown through so many coaches, and he's paying more coaches not to coach than he is to coach. That why would you want that job? But as you said, there are only 32 of them, and he is going to get a new coach if this one doesn't work out. But this one might work out. I know it's only a very, very, very small sample size, but Vic, do you think this is sustainable?
I definitely want to see it. I mean, the players definitely are. They feel like they've been empowered. They think this is their team now. So I think that's a very positive thing. But compared to what was going on, obviously a win over Tommy DeVito, I'm not sure is a huge landmark in terms of like you've arrived and you've made this great change. So I got to see more of it in the next few weeks. But definitely a great start for Pierce and for this team.
Did you fall for that thing going around Twitter last week about Josh McDaniels and Mark Davis and Halloween and all that?
No, because not only, I mean, obviously it's ridiculous, but I know Josh. I know Josh pretty well. I'm not sure I can see Josh in a Mark Davis costume, even letting his hair down all the way. So I couldn't quite picture that happening now.
Yeah, I'm totally with you. And plus, I think they claimed it was from The Athletic. You would know that it wasn't in The Athletic. I immediately saw it and went, oh, no. I had read Vic this morning. I don't think that was in his piece.
But they got a lot of people. People were believing it. So hey, more power. That's just the way the internet and Twitter, whatever X, whatever it is these days, is kind of who knows what's true, and you just take your guess and hope for the best.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.